Hey everyone! Back with my latest video log. Saturday was 3 weeks out from Tampa, so we're getting really close. Me and Lane made some changes yesterday, and I already hit a new low this morning, so that's pretty exciting. Things have been really high speed the past few weeks with trying to get ready and get down there, and we're at the point where if I even hit a little plateau, we have to make changes because we can't just wait around and not be ready. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have made even more changes, and I'm really excited that the shows are coming up, and it's finally it's getting close. I mean, how many now? It's less than 3. Oh, geez, it's just really close. So really excited, and it's gonna be really fun to travel to all these shows. So first thing I want to talk about today was veggies, and not just veggie brain. And for anyone who wants to know what veggie brain is, because I say this a lot, how I'm talking slower right now, and I'm gonna probably mash up my words, or I don't even know what I was trying to say there. That's veggie brain. So if you're on prep and you feel like that, then just be like, oh, it's my veggie brain, sorry. So it actually probably works out better for the videos because I talk really fast normally. So now that I'm talking slower, everyone will probably understand me. Anyways, so tracking veggies. I've always done it, and I'm a believer that you should do it. And this is kind of a thing that I see a lot of people go back and forth with during prep and off season, and some people are very adamant about not tracking, and some are adamant about tracking. So for me personally, I've always tracked, and I don't understand why you wouldn't unless you're eating consistently the same few vegetables every day, day in and day out. But for me, I try to really have a wide variety of foods and a wide variety of veggies. And when I'm prepping and my carbs are low, I'll have, my meal will be 10 to 15 grams of carbs, but it'll all be from vegetables. So I can't just not count that. Or if I have a salad the size of my face, oh, it's all vegetables, it's fine. No, there's carbs in there. And now it's not super carb dense. I'm not saying you need to get crazy with it, but I mean, things have carbs, and nothing is really free of anything. Now, the only caveat, again, would be if you eat the same exact amount of the same foods every day, then I would say maybe don't do it then. But even so, I would probably track it. And off season I do. In season, obviously, it becomes more of the bulk of my diet, so it's pretty important. Yeah, I just don't understand why you wouldn't. But the thing is, a lot of people get really hung up with tracking, and they get really crazy about certain things and obsessive. And for me, I'm not like, oh my god, this lettuce is a few more grams than I thought it would be. No. Like, for certain vegetables that I've weighed a lot or I eat a lot, I kind of know how many are in there, and I eyeball that. Things that are harder for me to eyeball as far as portions, like asparagus or squashes or things like that, then I always weigh those. But other things like lettuce and shit and broccoli slaw, like, I know what's in that. It's a few grams of carbs, I know how much a serving is, and I just kind of move on with my day. Otherwise I get really obsessive and crazy, and I already get kind of tired of tracking, so I don't want to get tired of tracking my veggies too. So yeah, I hear this come up a lot. It's kind of why I wanted to bring it up, and especially because of contest prep, and I am eating a lot of vegetables right now, and that is the bulk of my diet, so I wanted to kind of clear up any confusion on that part. And then the second thing I want to talk about is something that I think is super important, and that's keeping in the compound lifts during your diet. What I see a lot of people do is off season they train a certain way, and then in season or during prep they train a different way. I don't do that. I pretty much train the same year round. There are differences. One, the major difference is going to be cardio. I'll say that off season I have a lot less cardio, aka none. I should probably keep a little bit of that in, but I typically have very minimal cardio off season, and then during in season I increase that. Now, the other difference is my training frequency and duration. When I'm prepping and I'm really tired, I don't feel like I can give the same intensity for a long amount of time. So what I'll do is I'll just increase the frequency. So instead of maybe training a body part twice a week, I'll train it 3 times, but the session will be shorter. So, but there's not like set rules. Life comes up. Sometimes I can only train 4 days a week instead of 6. And then sometimes off season, I want to train every day. It all really depends. But general rule of thumb is that I'll have longer training sessions off season and a lot of times less frequency. And then in season I'll have more frequency because the sessions are shorter. But the main thing that I always keep consistent is my compound lifts. Now, in season, they're probably going to be lighter because I'm a lot weaker, and I'm putting a lot of my intensity into my HIIT training, because that's how I do my cardio. I do only HIIT. So a lot of my intensity and everything goes to that. So I'm very, very tired, and obviously the calorie deficit. I'm not trying to get injured or anything. So I push myself, but it's usually I'm not hitting any crazy PRs during my prep, and there are some people who do. So I'm not saying it's not possible. I know plenty of people who train for powerlifting meets the same time that they're dieting. I personally don't do that. I don't think that that would work for me as well, and that doesn't mesh as well with my goals as maybe some other people. When I focus on one thing, I focus on that, and I put more. If I'm training for a powerlifting meet, I'm focusing more on powerlifting. If I'm training for a bikini competition, I'm focusing more on my physique goals. And so I still focus on both, but there's always one that's a little bit higher than the other on the priority list. That's how I do it, and it works really well for me. Some people like training for both head on all the time, and if you like that, then definitely go for it. But the main thing I wanted to talk about with this was I like seeing the people who take out heavy lifting completely, and they go high rep and low intensity cardio for prep versus off season, where they kind of maintain their size and their strength, and they lift heavier, and they kind of push themselves with that. And compound lifting has always been a big part of my training, so it doesn't make sense to me to cut that out. And again, even though it's lighter, I'm still feeling it, you know what I mean, just as well. The stimulus is still there. So don't be afraid to continue to lift heavy and try different things for you, you know what I mean? Everyone responds differently to training. I do really well with high volume, high frequency. Again, during prep, I'm not recovering as well, and I don't want to put myself in any risk for things, so I don't, lift as heavy. But especially for females, I found that the high volume, high frequency, we can kind of tolerate that more, especially for specific body parts. And so for me, I typically train upper body 2 to 3 times a week, and lower body usually always 3 times a week. So hopefully that helped and kind of gave insight to how I program things and how I run things with my diet and my training. And I try to make these video logs answer specific questions that I see come up a lot, and I see those two things a good amount. I was kind of thinking of doing a Q&A because I think those are cool, and I always like watching those. So if you're watching this, in the comments, write anything that maybe I haven't gone over that you have a question about, and I'll make a post one time and take some of those questions too. So it'll be from YouTube, and it'll be from Instagram, and maybe Facebook, and I'll answer a few questions for Q&A, because like I said, I love watching those. So yeah, just in the comments, write whatever you want to hear from me. Nothing stupid or silly, only serious questions. Serious questions. And if I have answered them before, then I'll just be like, hey, I'll redirect you to something, because a lot of times in my videos I'll talk about a lot of things, and maybe people have missed over that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll enjoy making a Q&A because I think they're fun. So have a great week. Bye.